Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me today. So we are going to continue our Guild Wars 2 personal story playthrough. We are at level 80, and we have defeated the Eye of Zaitan and learned a bit about how the dragon perceives the conflict through the Eye, and then we defeated the Mouth of Zaitan, and thus reduced its ability to feed on magic, and then finally, and most recently, we cut off its ability to create new Risens. So essentially, its ability to replenish its army has been greatly diminished. So now we're going to continue our push into Ore. That is the present stage of the campaign, if you will. This is where we are physically located right now, and if you view Ore as this map, and then Cursed Shore, which is kind of like this right here, then you can see we've pushed about halfway. We still got a ways to go. Even though we haven't got there in the story yet, we can view this as kind of the terminus for our campaign. This is ultimately where our personal story will end up. So we are on our way. Let's continue to go and see what we can do as far as pushing deeper into Ore, or further into Ore, as this chapter is actually called. Jern, what's up, man?
You're just in time, Commander. We've established a perimeter, and we're shoring up the cavern's defenses. After your recent victory, Zaitan's forces are weakened. The dragon feels us growing closer, like a thorn digging deeper into flesh.
Now we know Zaitan can feel fear as well as rage. Its time in Tyria is coming to an end.
Brave words. Now let's make them come true. Come with me. The other commanders are inside. Grotto is this way.
Alright, so earlier, while traversing this map to move towards the starting point for another story, we actually passed through here, and I mentioned that in terms of the story, this outpost had not been established yet. And that's actually what we're doing right now, is we're establishing this little, it's almost like an underground beachhead.
The destruction of the asura
but we'll call it like a little fire base here.
This grotto makes a defensible command post. Only two ways in, this passage and the seaway.
And this is essentially what it looks like in the open world when you pass through it. All these structures are here, and then there's a hero point right here with a mesmer.
What are your recommendations for our next move?
Full offensive, sir. We've cut away Zaitan's supports. Now's our chance to attack the main force, while they're still reeling.
I agree, but a land-based offensive would hit where the dragon is strongest. If we attack from the sea, we'd do more damage.
Marshal, we've lost contact with the squad investigating lost artifacts. I want to send in an extraction team.
I see. Commander, a word. I need your input.
Marshal Traherne, a risen legion is approaching. I saw the sigil of the Orion royal house. I think they're coming from the tomb of Prince Alhazred.
In life, Alhazred was said to be a cruel, vicious man. Death will have not been good. Prepare to defend the encampment. To arms!
Okay, so I actually kind of like that a little bit, that it goes through the usual routine of like, okay, here are your choices, pick a choice, and then cuts off right before we get to that point in the interest of defending this outpost. So it kind of turns something that we've seen plenty of times a little bit on its head. And so that's actually a little bit of variety, if you will, that I kind of like. Ah, I didn't get away. For shame. So if, like, you really shouldn't, if you were playing this, since it's really no point in playing it to try and defend the camp, defend the structures, in terms of keeping them from being destroyed, because they're just going to get destroyed. It's just part of the way this particular instance plays out. Oh no, get our buddies back up. There's more of them coming.
I could outrun a centaur.
Man, people are dying some real gruesome deaths here. Like this, that's rough.
Time to do some real. Another personal victory.
Oh, look at that.
Undead Quabbin.
We've apparently gotten our fill of killing Zaitan's minions.
Prey to his servants. I feared one of the princes of Hor.
That was close.
Nah, no one's gonna help us with this. We did all that fighting together, and now it looks like we're on our own here.
Feel the fury.
I mean, Crusader Wiznit was up here to help, but looks like he got felled pretty fast. All right, he's back though. Good to see you, Crusader. Okay, so not a lot going on there. Pretty straightforward. A little bit of a battle to defend the camp. We did lose, of course, some of the camp here. But we have a decision to make, right? Send our strongest artillery to Ore and drive it right down Zaitan's throat. So that is an option for us. Favors the C option. The Risen Fleet is the dragon's most dangerous weapon. Take it and use it for ourselves. Well, that actually kind of sounds interesting. Or this missing squad. So this one kind of... This isn't a strategy. This is just a problem. These other two are strategies, right? Two different approaches to pursuing this campaign. And then we got a squad that's missing. Can't divulge the squad's mission yet. I'm the commander. He's the marshal. If you can't divulge it to like, I understand compartmentalization, right? It's a very important principle in terms of maintaining security and so forth. But like, how can you not divulge it to us? All right, well, so I kind of like the missing squad thing when it comes to the idea of like recovering our personnel. Like that is something that's of personal interest to me from like an actual military perspective. However, it's not a terribly compelling instance, and there's certain things that I want to show. This one's fun, and there's a lot of stuff going on here. By not doing it, we are going to miss one key thing, but ultimately I want to do the Navy one because that has like they each have their own story arcs involving their own characters, right? And it's the Navy one that I specifically want to see. So unfortunately, there are things that we would miss, because we're not going that other route. But that's always going to be the case, and I think that the decision making is a strength of the core story, an opportunity to choose different things. However,
Time to do some real.
if there's a weakness associated with that, is that you would have to play through the core story 3 times, making specific choices each time to see everything that you want to see, right? Because we're often given 3 choices. We were given 3 choices by the Pale Tree. We were given 3 choices here, and there are several other times where you're given multiple choices. So, and that's putting aside also the different racial options which exist as well. So, if you really, really love the story, or you really, really want to experience, a good chunk of the story, you're gonna find yourself playing through it numerous times. Additionally, if you are really like achievement hunting, then you would want to play through level 30 with each race. Because there are achievements associated with reaching that point in the story, completing level 30 for each of the races. It's a pretty small thing, but if that's the level of completionism that you aspire to, then you would want to make sure you did that, right? Alright, so we got some folks here.
I can't believe you're considered an equal in my field.
Take a look at that. And they said nobody has fun in Ore.
So I chose the naval route because of Agent Zot and Ellie. We also get Ailey Jane, so now she is a Crusader. But you may remember, because we we're Vigil. We previously encountered her before she was a member. So she's, we were Vigil when we met her, and she was part of the Ebon Vanguard. Now she is Vigil, as evidenced by the title Crusader. Um, but we escorted her to the camp before meeting the ambassadors of the human and Char races way back when. It's like level 40 story, I believe. And now we get Ailey Jane again. So Zot, Ellie, Ailey Jane, and then we got Scholar Inkblood over here, who I think we also ran into in a previous instance, but I didn't actually discuss Scholar Inkblood. It wasn't at that point like, you know, there wasn't anything that really caused us to talk about him. It is a cool name though, because we got like the very Char thing with the blood, but married up to the very Priory thing with the ink. So, all right,
Commander, good to see you. Let me call the others over and we'll get started.
all right, let's do that.
Circle up. Time to talk tactics.
Ellie's just so enthusiastic.
Listen up, team. Our target is Beacon Torch. It guides bone ships through the darkness of the Orient Vale. Our plan is not to capture the lighthouse. We get in, redirect the light, and get out.
What happens then?
Then, Commander, the bone ships will follow the beacon and end up like beached gulper fish. While they're stuck on the rocks, we wipe out the crew.
Greetings, Commander. I'm sure you remember me, Zot, master of Auspex enchantments and ocular devices. We met at Claw Island and...
Ahem, you toddling ninny bucket!
Yes. This is Ellie, my adjunct. Loath as I am to admit it, she is an expert on holomancy.
Adjunct? You wish, stuffy britches. Traherne said I'm your partner. Nice to see you, Commander. Get ready for some fun.
Squad. We'll head out when the scout gives the all clear.
All right, so let's get to know him. So as mentioned, we have met Zot before. He was the guy who hooked up the what was it? The Boo Boo Weezomatic or something like that. Is what he called it, I think. When we were retaking Claw Island, Ellie, because we are human, we have not met before. I believe it is the Sylvari storyline that gives you an option. It's recovering Calitbulg. Before that sword is given to Traherne, there is a Sylvari personal story option that allows you to recover that sword on behalf of the mother tree or pale tree or whatever she's called. And that will introduce you to Ellie when you go into like a pit fighting competition, and she is the announcer for that, and is quite charismatic in that, as well as she will be through this. So Scholar Inkblood here is making reference to events that take place within Guild Wars 1, when Vizier Kilbron unleashes some sort of ancient magic, which has devastating effect, and that is a response to a Char invasion. Right? Yes. Claw Island was super awesome. Yep. Old Orient magic. Okay, so great. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with like fire. Like that also seems viable for a lighthouse, as long as you can project the light far enough. But we got Asura magic, and now we got Old Orient magic. Quite taken by her holomancy. That is, I also aspire to meet a woman who with impressive holomancy. That is on my list of goals. So they do have this very fun dynamic where he is like, he can be a bit of a grump, and he comes off as like kind of oddly serious and kind of wanting to cover up like his emotions, whereas she is very exuberant and kind of wears her heart on her sleeve. So, much later, when it comes to elite specs, we get the idea. We get the kind of the holomancy piece that'll come with much later with Pathfire, and the idea of like hard light and being able to create a physical effect with holograms and projecting light and so forth. So this, in a sense, sets the foundation to where that's viable within the game. That we have mention of it all the way back here in the core story. So, all right, so let's see this. Let's see what this is all about, Ellie.
Amazing, don't you think? It mimics everything I do. I used it for tournament announcements.
Cacophonous catastrophes, Ellie. Shout ahead. We're supposed to be hiding.
Whoops. Sorry, Zodi, I forgot. Powering down.
All right, I've met everyone. Let's get going here. We need to wait till the moment is right. There's a specific window. Okay, that doesn't get explained anymore. It's just we gotta wait for the right moment.
Reporting in. We just got confirmation from Cluster 5. Your team is go.
Understood, Sri. And thanks. We'll take it from here. Commander, will you take point? We need to hit the water and approach Beacon Torch from the bay.
Sure. Let's go. So unfortunately, we got to swim there, and there is, creatures within the water who are going to try to impede our ability to get where we're going. Now, presumably, we could just kind of try and blow right by all of them. Generally, when you do that kind of thing, the NPCs will catch up with you at some point and kind of rejoin you. But in the interest of, playing this kind of, dare I say, as it was intended, we'll kill some of these enemies along the way. Man, I love it. I love getting smacked into by sharks, as evidenced by the fact that I'm repeatedly doing it and seemingly making no effort to avoid it. Oh, did I miss something? I did miss a guy. Oh no. I wonder if I can avoid that shark down there. Yeah, they don't seem to be fighting anything. Alright, let's keep moving.
A moment, please. Let's
Wait.
regroup here before we head up the cliff.
Okay. Alright.
Alert! Alert! We're being invaded.
Ellie, you're all backwards again. We're the ones invading.
Okay, you see that spider?
He's right. Sick of that, baby.
A little late for that. Little late. Oh no, things being thrown at us. So we've been found out. Our clandestine operation is no longer clandestine.
I'm on fire!
I am on fire. Troubling. Troubling development.
We heal as one.
Time to do some real damage.
Feel the fury.
So I guess this is the lighthouse's defenses, right? A bunch of giants that pop up and make things more difficult for us as we move towards the lighthouse. Oh, look at all these dudes. All right, easy peasy. Almost there. We can actually. Can we see the lighthouse yet? There we go. So there's the top of the lighthouse right there. What is that scrabbling sound? Seems like it's not good. There, now we can start to hear it. So you see this? All those. So I love this. I love it when the game does this. Sends like a whole mess of things at you. You can see that these spiders aren't like super powerful. At this point, they're not really a threat. There will be some more up here that are. But just the huge mass of things should elicit like an emotion, right? It's like, oh, this is serious business, and that's kind of a fun thing, versus like, oh, one really powerful bad guy throw a whole horde of things at me, and it makes the mission feel different, right? So I'm always a fan of them doing that. I guess if they did it with every single instance, would I always be a fan? Maybe not, because there is such a thing as just like overdoing anything, and they, ArenaNet does sometimes really kind of get into like certain things that they do, and it kind of becomes a negative thing. But they don't do that so often that it's problematic.
More like fish bait. We'll see how brave you are when the swarm.
So you can see this Risen Spider Lord. This is kind of his thing, right? Is throwing these massive. Where did he go? Well, I've never seen him do that before. Never cease to be amazed by the personal story, honestly. All right, so we'll come out here to the cliffs then, and he got away from us. Oh my lord, I can't get my hands on this guy. He just bounces around all over the place. And he turned into a spider. Which does make sense, right? Like, Risen Spider Lord. So apparently, like, there was a point in time when there was some conversation about, like, arachnophobia being, like, debilitating for fans of the game. And, which is a really weird thing, because they're, like, I don't know, that's a lot for me. But there are a lot of like giant spiders in the game.
Excuse me, Most High Poobity Poobah Jane. Permission to celebrate, ma'am?
Yes, Ellie, you can celebrate.
The Lighthouse Guardian is down. Victory to the champion of champions.
So Ellie called Ailey Jane Poobah. We will see that again. We will see an Asuran female refer to someone else as Poobah at some point in the future. Look at those moves. Ellie's getting down. Okay. We have an issue, however. We still need to do our thing with the lighthouse. Alright, what's going on here, Zat? That's like some odd noise. That's weird. Yeah, so he's supposed to be our expert on this. So why I'm being asked for help is a little odd, but okay, let me see what I can do. Just hit the thing. There we go. That worked. Man, that ambient noise was a lot.
That was a rough ascent. The Risen are serious about defending these lighthouses.
Well done, everyone. The next bone ship that follows this beacon will be in for quite a surprise. Now it's a waiting game. We'll meet at the staging grounds when our scouts tell us a ship's been sighted. Until then, dismissed.
So, Zadi, having trouble with the occlusion interface? I could help you study up on it over a nice bottle of Turumba cider.
Study up on it? I? You? I mean, hands to yourself, Holomancer. And don't call me Zadi. It's embarrassing.
Oh, you're absolutely adorable when you're flustered. Shame it doesn't happen more often.
Yeah. All right. I like those two. They're fun. So we have now gained control of the lighthouse. Keep in mind that is not that we wanted it off or whatever. We wanted it very much on. We want it to misdirect ships, right? So that those ships can then be seized and put to our uses, which apparently will not happen right here at the lighthouse. We're going to have to head over to where we can take control of these ships. I think it's still on this map, though. Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. There we go. Cool, cool. So earlier I talked about some of like the temples. So here's another one. This is Duena's temple. And had we chosen the army path, that story arc would have taken us here. And in fact, since we're not going to go that path, I will go ahead and mention what would happen, which is, because I mean, I don't feel like it's a spoiler, because had we chosen that path, it would happen at this same point in the story, just with a different option. So instead of knowing what happens to Zot and Ellie and Ailey Jane, you would instead know what happens to Tegwin and Karis, who join us on this operation. And unfortunately, one of them dies right up here because they're calling for fire and they're using a beacon to call for fire, but the beacon malfunctions, so I think it's Tegwin dies, and she has to retain control of that beacon. Thus, she essentially calls for fire on herself, right? And so that is how she meets her demise, and that would take place in that story. So, kind of a parallel thing happening while we are pursuing the naval route. Presumably, the overland operations continue, and that endeavor is still taking place, just not with our presence. And so, unfortunately, while we're on this operation that we're about to go on, that is what's going to happen there, within the Temple of Duena there. And they got like big char tanks that they're escorting, which is a lot of fun. I do enjoy the army one. I enjoy both. And I am army, so generally I tend to gravitate more towards army things than navy things. But for storytelling purposes, I really like this this naval story arc.
You make the call. I'll follow your lead.
Well, that makes sense. I am the commander.
Greetings.
Okay, so the signal worked perfectly. Dead ships just piled up in the shallows. Are we ready? Yeah, let's do our thing. Board them, eliminate the crews, and then we'll sail them and infiltrate Zaitan's borders, the area of Zaitan's control. Is that a thing? AZC? Are we going to call it the AZC, the area of Zaitan's control? We'll infiltrate it by using his ships, essentially. And then eliminate Orient commanders with shore bombardment. So Fel and Mary are going to row us out there. All right, that sounds like a plan. Let's do it. Let's not mess around. So this is like a kind of a couple, I think. If I'm not mistaken, that might actually come up here in a second.
Commander on deck. Glad to meet you. I'm Captain Phil Verdenmeer.
Nice to meet you, Phil. Are you part of the squad?
My wife and I sail a clipper out of Lion's Arch. We were brought in by the Pact to handle a special mission, piloting bone ships. Nobody said the dang things already had a crew.
They might be crewed now, but that's what my squad's here to do. Take out the Risen and deliver the ships. The question is, can you sail them?
Now look here, girlie. I can sail a Bantam in a full hurricane. I can sail anything. Stick a toothpick on a turtle and I'll sail it to Cantha before dawn.
I hope you're right. Ellie, Zot, are you ready to help commandeer these vessels?
Operating at 100% efficiency, Crusader. Ignore the tinge of green around Ellie's ears. I assure you, Asura never gets seasick.
Okay, so apparently at the end of the day, the ships did pile up right outside the lighthouse because this is where we just went up, right? The lighthouse, like right up here. So not sure why we started this story then way over there on the other side of this thing, but that's where we started. All right, are we ready, Ellie Jane? Poor Ellie. I hope she doesn't get seasick. Have you ever seen someone get seasick? Like, it's rough. Like, they have a real rough go of it. All right. We're good to go. So one of the dialogue options there was the ship looks kind of empty. So that's kind of the way this goes, is these ships will look empty, and then we kind of get, like, ambushed by all these Risen popping up out of nowhere and attacking us. What is the lower part of the ship? Oh, man. See, I'm Army, not Navy. I have no idea what is that called? I do actually know that. I can't remember right now, though. Like the hold or something? I don't know. I do know starboard and port. Because those are actually used for certain Army things as well.
Replenishing.
Okay, so that was the captain of this vessel, right? So at the end of taking each vessel...
Don't make it easy, do they, Mary, my dove?
Would we want it to be easy, Belle, my love? Let them come. We'll keel-haul them with their own lines.
Oh.
That's my rowdy girl. Crusader Jane, I think we're ready for the next gangplank.
Is this going to be a thing? Are these two going to do this the entire time? That is considerably more obnoxious than Zot and Ellie. And why is everyone a couple? Should I ask Ailey Jane out? Like on a date? Like, is that just how we're doing this? Is it like a packed thing? It's like packed Tinder? What's going on here? In fairness, they are already married, right? So it's not like they're meeting on these operations. I mean, we recruited them as a couple, I suppose. Alright, where's that captain?
Time to do some real damage. More enemies aft.
I don't have time for this.
Aft? Oh, but then they told us what that means, right? Rear of the ship. Thank you. Who was that? Ailey Jane? Thank you, Ailey Jane, for helping me with things that I otherwise wouldn't know what they are. Hey, Ailey Jane, where are you going? You gonna come back and join everyone else? Like, we're in the middle of a fight. We're fighting Captain Redeye, who... Ooh, it does not have red eyes. He is missing eyes. Well, it's kind of weird that his name is Redeye, then. Just the same. A fight we must win. So, Captain Redeye. I love hammers in this game. That has nothing to do with the story, just an observation. I really like hammers.
Unusual ocular glands on these creatures.
We do have a
Never seen
hammer.
ocules quite like these.
With due respect,
I don't generally play
I don't
Hammer
have those.
Untamed, though, so
I
I don't
just
know how to
care
play
that
it
they're
well.
dead.
Still, they could see the beacons. Ah, no matter. Crusader Jane, the gangplank, if you please.
Watch it! You're crawling up the outer hull.
What? Crawling up the outer hull? Were they in the water? That's a weird place for the crew to be, right? Like, ideally, the crew of your vessel is not under the water, unless your vessel's a submarine. Like, the crew of your vessel should be in the vessel, right? I don't know. I'm not Navy. Maybe that, you know, like, I don't know, maybe like the Chinese Navy or something? Is that how they do it? Could be. I don't know. Certainly the crew of the Moscow is certainly took that approach. little bit of a knockback there. Another one. Alright, where's Captain Yej? There he is. Oh, more of the knockbacks. Alright. What is this? One more ship left? Is this our last ship right here?
Ellie, get a move on. Ellie? Ellie, are you alright?
I knew this one. His name was Yej. He left rather soon to be a gladiator.
There, dear girl. Don't give up now.
Oh no!
Thank you, Zadi. Crusader Ali took the last gangplank. I owe those Risen a punch in their guts.
There we go. Got the hologram back. That's what we need. Good job, Ellie. Way to keep your chin up. Still nothing on this ship.
Look, Val. Someone left an arm lying around.
I feel like you shouldn't play with that.
Probably a trick. Get an axe.
It looks like it fell from Balthazar's hounds. They're in the rigging. Look up.
Ellie? Ailey Jane, do you want to join us?
Time to do
Oh, Hylic. Hylic are the worst. But, if we reflect projectiles, that'll help. Ah, and that's why Hylic are the worst. You see that? Just like that, a whole bunch of stacks of poison.
Feel the fury. Replenishing.
We were fed to the Dragontoists, but now you will be the prey.
So I believe Kolayaki, I think we see this guy die if we choose to learn more about the Hylic instead of the script. Then I think we actually see this guy's death. But I'm not 100% on that. That is like not something, because they all got like these like Aztec sort of names or something. That's kind of what the Hylic are modeled after culturally.
These bone ships are saggy, rotted, and full of holes, but still seaworthy. As long as you're not planning to sail to Ilona, they'll do.
Not Alona. Just the city of Ara. Right into the dragon's maw. When can the ships be ready?
Depends on Eiley and Zod. I swear, they fight like Norn and argue like they're married.
You'll have all the help we can spare, Captain. Tyria itself depends on us.
We'll be as quick as we can, Commander. My word on it. When the ships are ready, we'll alert Marshal Traherne.
Alright. Yay, we got ships. Now we just need to wait for them to get ready, I guess. How long does that take? As long as it takes us to run from here to the next spot. That's approximately how long it's going to take. Actually pleasantly surprised that there's not a whole bunch of people AFK farming over there. Must be a new map. That's all these sparks over here. They just hang out like right underneath there, and kill the sparks for charged lodestones, which do fetch a pretty good price on the trading post. So I don't know that the drop rate's very good, so I imagine like gold per hour, it's probably still kind of garbage. But you know, gold per hour is not the point of AFK farming, right? Like, the returns on that are pretty dismal. I suspect. I think the point is that you do it for 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, because you do it as long as you're awake, right? After all, like, it doesn't require any effort. You just do it in the background or whatever else you're doing that day. So, like, especially folks that, like, work from home. You know, I imagine that's the racket. There are videos on, like, that's kind of appalling to me that they're, like, ArenaNet has ignored it to the point where there are, like, YouTube videos how to most efficiently AFK farm in Guild Wars 2. Like, you'd think that would be, like, a real clear warning for the studio, but apparently not. Alright. We need to find the launching point for the story. There it is. The ships are ready. Let's sail these ships into ore. Oh no, Risen. It was like 3 of them. So, like, I should hope that these 2 guards can handle these 3 Risen. Because if not, then we have a guard problem. Right? Alright, go team.
Head on in, Commander. Mighty James, gather the troops. He's waiting your arrival.
Look at all these people inside, and the 2 of them are out there fighting Risen. Man, what the heck?
That's why I say researcher Maver's threaded megafluidity theorem is complete bunk.
Mava's crazy as a junk heap scrit. Huh, we finally found something we can agree on.
Pipe down, you two. The commander doesn't need to hear your prattle. We need to report.
I'm actually really interested in the prattle. So Mavis should be familiar with, to us because, well, let's see. I don't think we saw Mava because we were Vigil. Had we been... Is it Priory? I think it's if you're Priory, you'll encounter Mava's home in Lion's Arch as like the level 50 story. We instead got the Orient Scout underneath the city in the sewers, right?
We've got the ships, the crew, and the sizable force. All we need is a good commander, and our squad's ready for the final operation.
I'm ready to catch the Risen with their tattered pants down. How do you want to play this?
Weird.
We sail south and blend in with their usual galleys. The Risen will assume we're part of their fleet, until we start firing on their shore artillery. While we sail, Inkblood will lead a feint against the ground troops to distract the Risen. Commander, you'll be on the flagship with Phil, Mary, and me. Zot will be the flagship's gunner. Ellie's assigned to the second galleon, the Windfall. We need to spread out our firepower in case we lose one of the ships.
Don't worry about the captured galleons, Crusader Jane. Everything will be fine. They're in fully operational condition.
And by operational, he means they have a barely tolerable ratio of hulls to wreckage.
That's enough, you two. With your leave, Commander, we'll board the ships and set sail.
All right.
Gone all lumpy-eared. Worried about me?
Not worried. I merely wanted you back on my ship to assist me. That's all.
Stop stressing out.
Good save,
Activate
Zot.
that big heat sink you call a brain and get to work.
All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm not seeing any movement. Looks like we're in a coup.
Stay wary. They won't give up that easily.
Should we try to look more risen? I could shuffle around, or ride or something.
Stay quiet, Mary, my love. That's all we can do.
Welcome
All
aboard,
right.
Commander. Ali and Zot are waiting for you above decks.
Okay. Well, then let's go above decks. I mean, I feel like that's already where I should have been,
Agent Zot,
but
time
whatever.
to work your magic. Show me some firepower.
1 part fire, 1 part power, and the rest is made of kaboom.
We have like an unknown variable there. How many total parts are there? All right. Well, let's fire one of these things.
Looks like the giants are on shore.
Oh no, a giant. Oh, an eye.
Brace yourself, everyone. Things are about to...
All right, so now we got some walls here. And then, of course, we're also receiving, like, artillery. So we got our shields to deal with the artillery. And we got, and we got our guns here. Let's see if we can, kind of fight through these barriers here. And deal with all this nonsense. Wow, did that one go right through there? Did I, like, literally miss? Oh, I forgot my shield. I forgot. I hit the wrong button for the shield. I'm gonna die. This next one's gonna, like, completely kill me. Not quite. Close, though. Hey, where's my pet? Look at my pet just standing there. Like, I'm stupid, and so the pet's not going to help me. Rock gazelles do not help stupid people. That's the thing that we've learned here. Hurry up, rock gazelle, or it's going to happen again. Alright, let's do a better job, shall we? Button 4 is for the shield, not button 2. Shield. What the heck, man? What? I was spamming it. Okay. Now I'm just unhappy. Can we please get some of these giants down?
Feel the fury.
Alright. Spamming shield. There we go. Well, that's not good.
I'll take your post, Commander. You get down there and lend Mary a hand.
Alright. So I guess we need to go address like an ooze problem. Below decks? Let's go. Let's see what's going on here.
These awful things are eating through the house.
Ew.
I've got an idea.
That doesn't seem good.
And it'll plug the gap so no more oozes can come through.
So I like from a story, like from a gameplay standpoint, I get it. Like, oh, plug the holes. But I mean, is that kind of weird that like, would goop from oozes stop oozes? I mean, is that how it works? That's a weird kind of like what are what's like the physiology involved in that? That you know, they're like made of bubblegum or something, I guess.
Feel the fury.
Alright, let's be done with this. I kind of messed around with that more than I needed to.
Now get back to your
I'm making this mission considerably harder than it has to be. How's it going, Ailey Jane? I see that we have walls again. So you've not been doing your job. Is that the takeaway here? Is you've been failing at your job? Which was my job, and I was failing at it as well, so... Oh no, which side? The starboard side. So, if this is the front of the vessel, this is 4, then, this is starboard, this is port, right? Because starboard side personnel stand up. Oh my gosh. Got things getting fired at us here. These ships are... Alright. We gotta fire back.
Time to do some real damage.
There we go.
Shark's maw. You damaged the windfall.
Wait, did I have that backwards? Starboard side personnel? No, that's right. Okay.
Crusader Jane, look off our port bow. The windfall has taken heavy damage. They're going down.
We can't do anything about it. If we don't capture those docks immediately, the Pack's entire assault will fail. People are counting on us.
No, that's Ellie's ship. We can't leave her to die.
We have our orders, Agent, and the mission is top priority. Ellie would understand.
To hell with our orders, and to hell with the mission. Ellie needs me. I won't abandon her.
Stand down, Agent Zot. This flagship will continue toward the Orient docks. It's critical that the Pack capture that territory, and this is our only chance. However, the mission can succeed without your expertise or mine. Crusader Jane, give Phil and Mary our posts. Rendezvous with Inkblood when you reach the shore. Zot and I will head to the Windfall. If there are survivors, we'll get them out and meet you there.
Thank you, Commander. I promised her.
So this is the second time, in our time with Ailey Jane, that she has advocated, like, leaving people behind. I'm starting to get a real bad vibe about, like, Ailey Jane being a little bit cutthroat. All right. Well, let's go see if there are survivors of this shipwreck. I see on our map that there are fallen allies ahead, so maybe that is where we need to be. Oh, a Vigil War Master, who apparently can be rezzed. Not full dead, just downed. What's going on over here? Oh. Do I have Zot with me? Alright, cool.
Ellie? Ellie?
Where? Where's Ellie? Ellie, we found her.
Has to be. Speak.
Oh, so he can res her, but we can't. See that? He's doing the rubs, but underwater rubs. There she goes.
Zot, look at all the pretty tangents and signs tracing your ears. Ooh, geometrical.
Hush, Ellie. Don't say anything. I mean that. Doing equations after a jolt can only lead to non-axiomatic formula. I'm ready, Commander. Let's save as many soldiers as we can and finish this fight once and for all.
We should do that. Oh, Crusader. I hope we're not away from Ailey Jane too long. She might leave like a whole bunch more people to die. Much like we did in the battle to protect Fort Trinity. There's a lot of that in Guild Wars, dude. Best of luck to them. But, this is for the mission. Like, hey, you need soldiers for the... you can't leave everyone behind, and then there's no one left to actually fight the mission. Or to fight the enemy, to pursue the mission. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Pact. Get your business together. Terrible. No military sense at all. Alright, there's our ship. Let's get back to it. We're actually going to bypass the ship. We're going to rendezvous with the squad on the floor. Or, shore. Oh, they might be on the floor. They're hanging out with Ailey Jane. You guys coming? Oh, we're getting things shot at us. Let's get it. Oh, was it too late for that Whispers agent? Ah, they're catching up. All right. Feel like we're obligated. Just because we ran into this guy, we're obligated to kill him.
Time to do some real damage.
Good job, everyone. Get together for an AAR and then call it a day.
I could outrun it.
Oh, look, Ailey
Over
Jane.
here, Commander. Ellie, I'm glad to see you're safe.
Are you?
Too, little Nofur. Good to see
No
you
fur is a
one
weird
piece.
thing to call someone.
We have to control this territory. Zot, ready to munitions.
Take this, Commander. You lay down a signal, and we'll fire on that location.
Okay. So this is kind of a fun thing. Fortunately, like, friendly fire is not like a serious threat to us, so all these losers, like, we can kind of pull them in.
Feel the fury.
And then just call for fire, and it'll, wait a minute, why wouldn't it let me call for fire? There we go. We'll just call for fire, like, right here, and then all these dudes will start coming. Now, this is kind of disappointing, because we're only going to get, like, 2 of them. That wasn't good. You're clear. Go. I mean, are we clear? I don't know. So now we get a whole bunch more of these, right? So, um, there, fire there. Oh man, I was too close to the blast. Reminds me of Ton, who was also too close to the blast. Sad, sad business. Poor Ton. Using these things is fun. Come on, Zot, do your thing. Oh man, they're starting to really pile up around us. If only we had something we could use. Oh no! Give me another bundle. Crying out loud. There we go. That's what I was waiting to happen. Alright, let's move to that last location. You with me, Zot? Go ahead, buddy. Let's just assume that everything's going to be fine. I haven't really got time for this anymore.
Here goes the last one.
There we go. Nice. Alright, so now we just got to kill the rest of these guys. Fortunately, we still got some of these left, so let's put them to use. Woohoo! Good job, everybody. Where's everyone else? Oh, there's still... Regroup with the team. We can't regroup with the team though because there we go.
It wasn't all me. The commander did a great deal, and well, there was you.
By the forges of hope, I swear every last one of these walking corpses will burn.
The marksman is their leader. Take him out.
Oh man. I wonder if these are still good. Can we still use one of these? So, Zot got drilled right in the back of the head. Looked like right at the base of the skull. That is rough. So that's how Zot meets his demise. Another likable Asuran slain right in front of us. That makes 2 in like the last 3 story arcs. Oh, do those signals not work anymore? Bummer, man. So here's the guy who got Zod. Oh. Did a little bit of a shadow step on me. Shenanigans. Yeah, I hear Ellie, but where? I don't see her. Is she still occupied over here? So ideally, like, Ellie's with you on this fight, right? Like, Ellie, we get that dialogue that where she's expressing her grief and her anger and so forth. Good grief, this dude is gonna, like, cover the whole map.
No one warns your daddy. No one.
The operation is a success. Fall in, troops. Secure the docks.
Alright, where are you at, Shern? Like, oh, there's still like one dude alive. There we go. Oh, here's Traherne and Dorn.
Well done, Commander. A bittersweet victory, but critical. Your success in this battle means the Pact can finally strike at Arah. and the dragon Zaitan. Crusader Jane, Ellie, you have my sincere condolences. Agent Zot died a hero, and his sacrifice will be remembered.
I agree. Zot will be missed. He was a great inventor and a good friend.
He was an irascible old crackpot, and you know it, Commander. I don't want to believe he's gone. I don't think I really knew what it meant to fight for Tyria. Everyone said, this is war, and there's no turning back. I couldn't appreciate what that meant, but now I know. It means loss, and pain, and sadness, but it also means hope. I won't give up, and I won't turn back. Even when Zot thought I was gone, he kept searching for me. I'll keep him alive too, with my inventions.
You'll have a chance to do just that. The Pact isn't turning back either. We're going to defeat Zaitan, once and for all.
Alright, so I do like this, just like I like the thing with Ton. I like the thing with Zod. And in both cases, it's very simple. Neither one is like super complex, which I think kind of beats away the idea that for Guild Wars 2 to get better at its story, that it needs to get like infinitely more complex. I don't think that's the case at all. It just needs to take itself a little bit more seriously and tell a story the right way, instead of some of the nonsense that we've got in the past, like with Season 3 and stuff like that. So, and I think we get that here too. And then we also get kind of a comparison and contrast and so forth between Syrah and Ellie, and how they, not that either one's right or wrong, but we get this diversity. And then I really, really like that line from Ellie where she's like, no one mourns your death. No one's like, that's really good. And again, none of it's complex though. It's just like follow some of the general rules of storytelling, right? All right. A ritual that can cleanse ore. All right. Well, I'm interested. Let's go cleanse ore. I mean, is that what needs to happen here to like, let's see, which one of these do we want to unlock? Do we need to cleanse ore? Is that going to make the difference here? So let's look into that. Do we need ghost peppers? Is that going to make the difference here? Almost 100%. Nice. All right, where are we? Right next to Gavborn's Landing. Oh, is it occupied? No, it's not occupied.
Feel the fury. Time to do some real damage.
It's in danger of being occupied. But we'll rescue them. Alright, so for video purposes, this is where we're going to wrap up on this video, and that's because I'm trying to like maybe get through the rest of the core story today, but that means we still got a bit ahead of us because Victory or Death is actually quite long. So in order to do that, let's go ahead and wrap this video up here. So we covered one like big story arc all at once, which was our path into ore, our assault on ore. We chose the naval route, and we succeeded in that. We diverted a lighthouse in order to beach a bunch of ships, and then took control of those ships and sailed them into ore and assaulted the beaches in like an amphibious landing. All that went great, except that we lost Zot, who famously helped set up like the laser beam Bubumazic Wheeze calculator in Claw Island, and now he is unfortunately gone to us forever. Most importantly, Ellie, is going to feel that loss more than anyone else. So we grieve with Ellie. But now we're going to look forward. With the next video, we'll be looking to cleanse ore, and then we'll see what comes after that. Because that is, as you may recall, that is actually like Traherne's wild hunt, right? So this is Traherne's purpose. His reason for existence is to cleanse ore. So let's help him fulfill that. And we will pick that up next time. So thanks for hanging out with me.